We Got This Africa is an April Communications production, proudly brought to you by Fritol. Fritol, you deserve a life of goodness.
We all have ups and downs, but imagine these normal ups and downs being stretched into extreme ups, crushing lows, emptying your bank account, derailing your daily life, and blowing up your relationships. Bipolar disorder and its headline symptom, mania, are often misunderstood in our part of the world. Mood swings and bouts of depression are just the headlines. Today on We Got This Africa, I'll have a chat with Angel, an amazing lady who shares her story on living with bipolar disorder in Ghana. My name is Nashako, and you're watching We Got This Africa.
We got this. We got this.
Angel, the last time I saw you was on Mentor.
Yes.
And it's like right after Mentor, you got lost.
Yes.
What happened?
Okay, right after Mentor, a lot of things happened. I went through some few heartbreaks, or shall I say, I went through heartbreak.
Romantic relationship?
Exactly.
Okay.
And due to that, I had to be running to and fro at the psychiatric hospital.
A heartbreak took you to the psychiatric hospital?
Exactly.
Wow.
And it's been like this for 10 years.
As in, you go to the psychiatric hospital to be committed, you stay there?
Yeah, I don't stay there. Through the heartbreak, I was diagnosed of first psychosis, and it later changed to bipolar.
Wow.
And it's like every year I was admitted at the hospital. Sometimes I stay in the hospital for 3 to 4 months. And even when I was pregnant, I stayed there for 6 months till I gave birth. I think I went there on my 4th month, and I stayed there for like 6, let's say my 3rd month. So I stayed there for 6 months till I gave birth.
I'm so sorry.
Yes, that's what has actually been happening to me.
Wow, you've been through a lot.
A lot.
Now, let me just ask you this. We've all been brokenhearted at some point in our lives.
Yes.
But what made you go to a psychiatric hospital because of a heartbreak? What happened exactly?
Okay. After Mentor, I had this boyfriend or fiance from the Mentor house.
Okay.
And so we came home back to Koforidua. He was in Accra, I was in Koforidua. So when we came home, there was this studio I was linked to. The son of ICGC, his name is Seth. That's ICGC, the headquarters in Koforidua.
Okay.
So this man employed me in his studio to be working. But it's like most of the times I go there with my fiance whenever I want to go and record. So this man at a point said he wants to manage me. That's the studio manager. He says he wants to manage me, and I was like, okay, that's fine. But anytime I take my boyfriend there, he's not comfortable with the whole idea. At a point when I was coming out with a single, he gave me a beat. And when I was ready to listen to the song, like I needed somebody to hear it out for me, somebody who is also musically inclined, like to hear it out for me. And so I said, fine, my fiance is here, so I want him to listen to the song. And he was like, no, I should sack my boyfriend outside. I should tell him to sit outside before he plays the music. And seriously, it was like he was really, really serious into it, say, I should let my boyfriend sit outside. And I was like, okay. I made him sit outside. After that, a few hours later, Lenny Akpadi, all other girls, he came to the studio, and he and the studio manager called me and said, I have a great ministry, and that the hand of God is so mighty upon me, so I shouldn't be flirting around with guys and all that. And since I'm in a relationship, he's not comfortable with me, you know, being in such a tight relationship and all that. And I was like, okay. So what next? He was like, I should leave the guy alone so that I can start going to church in ICGC, you know, because it's his father's church. He wants me to start coming there all over, like from time to time.
Okay.
And I was like, okay. So because of this God factor in it, I just agreed. And I saw eye to eye with what he said. So after that, I came back home and sacked this boy out of my life. Like, it's like
Giving your life to Christ.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I need a fresh page and all that. And of course, I was flirting with a guy.
With the studio manager?
No, my fiance. So the way he said I should stop flirting with him and all that, I just said, look, that's it. This can continue. So let's proceed to the next page. Please leave me in peace. After some time, I went to fast in the studio, I think for like 3 days.
You went to the studio to fast?
To fast. You know, like getting gospel songs, it's not like you can just look at a lady's backside and you can compose like a hip life or something. But a gospel song is different. Maybe sometimes you have to fast, pray, get songs of the spirit, you know, and all that. So I decided to go to the studio, fast for some time, for some days, because he made a beat for me. So I wanted to get songs that will fit
the beat.
Yes, lyrics that will fit the beat. So after that night, I think I couldn't go home. I was just there, and I saw somebody climbing me in the studio. His bedroom is close to the studio, you know, it's underground in a way. He just climbed me, and I was like, what's happening? And it was like, you know, with force. We were struggling and all before I realized penetration and sex, you know, took place between I and the manager. And I was like, hold on. You are trying to tell me, say, I should give my life to Christ and start coming to your father's church and send my boyfriend or my fiancé out of my life, which I did. And you are now doing this with me. And not knowing he had been sleeping with the church choristers. Most of them were his girlfriend. I didn't know. And I also, when the thing happened, automatically at a point in time, it's like we were automatically lovers. It started happening for some time, like it kept happening and happening.
What do you mean you were lovers? You didn't like what he did?
I didn't like what he did, but after some time.
You didn't go away from him?
I didn't go away from him. Let's say for a day or two, then he called me and he proposed to me that he's actually interested in me. This and this is the issue. And I go like, okay, though I was hurt about what he did, but I couldn't talk about it to his face.
How old were you?
I can't remember.
It's a long time ago.
I know it's 10 years ago.
10 years ago?
Yes. It's 10 years ago. So after some time, since that was the place that I was working, sometimes I eat from there. I didn't have food to eat at home, so sometimes I had to be coming to his place compulsorily, or whichever way. I just had to keep coming. And it was like, I want to produce you, but it's like the whole thing was like, if you don't do this, I won't do this. If you don't do this, I won't do this. So at a point in time, automatically we were going out.
Okay. And he's the one who broke your heart?
Yes.
And after he broke your heart,
yes,
you had to go to a psychiatric hospital?
Yes.
What were the events that happened after the heartbreak that took you to the psychiatric hospital?
Okay. We were in a studio one time, if I could remember, and all of a sudden, I changed, like I was doing weird things in the studio.
Even though you had broken up, you were still recording with him?
No, when I had broken up with him, I wasn't recording with him anymore. Okay. But before the breakup, he did something, should I say cheated or something? Because he had other girlfriends I didn't know about. It was later I got to know.
Okay.
And that led to, the breakup. Okay, that practically led to the breakup. But what I'm trying to say is I was doing some weird things in the studio.
Weird things like what?
I can't really remember, but Like, I spat on him. I was beating him.
Were you
I
aware?
took off my slippers. Yes. That's what I remember. But I can't. That's what I can remember.
Okay.
And before I knew it, I was taken to Central Hospital. And over there, I poo-pooed on myself, wee-weeing on myself, people coming there to take photo shoots and going like, is that not that star on Mentor? What is happening to her? It's like she's gone nuts. It's like she's gone crazy. It's like she's gone wacko. Like, everybody and what he or she was saying about my condition. And I was there for some time for treatment. And after that, they had to refer me to Pantine Psychiatric Hospital, where I stayed for like 3 or 4 months.
Wow.
Yes.
What did they say was wrong?
Okay. Initially, they said psychosis. Then, that was as I was at the Pantine Hospital, they said psychosis. So they were giving me drugs, based on the illness.
So
psychosis.
what was your day like at the hospital? What happens at the psychiatric hospital?
Okay. 3 different psychiatrists that have been, and different characters all through. Pantine Hospital was a place where I was fed well, but I don't have visitors.
They didn't allow people to come and see you?
They allow people to come and see me, but what I was trying to say is I was in a rejected state. Like,
what was your family, your boyfriend?
My boyfriend never stepped the hospital. I think he came to that's the manager I'm talking about. He came to the Central Hospital before I was transferred. And when they asked him, he was like, I'm his pet.
Pet?
Yes.
Pet?
Pet, yes.
Like an animal?
That's what he said. I don't know but I'm sure that's what and he just left. He didn't say anything again.
He never came to the psychiatric hospital?
He never came to the psychiatric
and
hospital.
And your parents?
He left me. And my parents, actually my dad never stepped there because they're divorced, but still he could have come, but he never came in that Pantine. My mom, I think, came there. There was a woman who was sponsoring me at that time, fellow lady musician.
Okay.
She took the case on her, fed me all through, will come and visit me like I'm her own daughter, bring me foodstuffs, like come and visit me and all. But that's what I can really, really remember. And I was working with one man, he's a politician, his name is Dan Markin. He died some few months ago. He brought a band. I used to join a band as well. He brought the band over, after some time, he brought the band over. They were the ones, but I'm talking about like, if there be anybody who ever knew me before, like I was wishing that they come visit me. I felt that loneliness, but none of them came. And I was deserted, like, all alone.
I'm really sorry.
Yes. So, back to, let's say, Central Pantine, Accra Psychiatric Hospital.
So you were moved from Pantine to Accra Psychiatric?
Yes. That not the same, because it keeps
recurring.
Exactly. Yeah. So I keep moving from hospital to hospital.
But were you getting the treatment you needed to recover?
I wasn't. At a point, I was beaten till I lost my teeth.
You were beaten by who?
By nurses. I slapped a nurse unconsciously, like I just slapped.
You had an episode?
Yes. And I slapped a nurse. And he called somebody who has been on psychiatric for 16 years. That lady was really off. And she was very wicked too. And that day, what they did to me, they broke 3 of my teeth. The teeth I have here is all fixed on top. Like half is broken. I had to fix it.
They
brutalized me. They used my head to hit a big wall, like a wall. They just held my head like the way wrestling, like the way they wrestle and hold somebody's ears. Mine was like it.
They were smashing your head.
They were
against
just
the wall.
smashing, like this one smashes it and give it to the next person. The next person smashes it and give it to the fellow. Then they kept like throwing me. My eye could have been lost because according to the beatings I saw, and there was nobody there to save me that day.
The hospital was empty?
The hospital was not empty.
Did they take you to a secluded place?
They didn't take me to a secluded place. I'm talking about Accra Saika.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we are like in a house. In a house, like the way it is, we are like in a house, so you can come out, play, watch TV.
So at the time, there was no one inside?
There was people pass. The nurses have to, most of the exits, it's like the nurses use that place as exit to another ward.
So they saw what was happening?
They saw, some people saw, but nobody came to my rescue.
Why?
5 nurses.
Five of them did this to
Yes,
you?
5 nurses and 1 psychiatric patient. They left me to the psychiatric patient to deal with me. Oh God. After that, they used pipe holes. They used in beating me on every side. It was massive. That's what like beating an armed robber. It was massive, very massive. I'm telling you, the way they hit my head on the wall, like the edges like this. Oh dear, you should have been there. It was very, very, very painful. Very, very, very painful. And sometimes you go extremely hungry. The drugs are such that when you take it and you don't eat, something called inketenketin chi, a chua, trust me, and you have no relative bringing you food. I'm talking about that Christ.
Why? Where was your mother?
My mother comes there once in a month.
Why?
I don't know.
Do you have a good relationship with
I
your
have
mother?
a good relationship. In fact, all I know is I'm trying for that woman. But she comes there once in a month. I don't know. She though she's a trader, okay,
So
she doesn't.
She's not always in town.
Yes, she was in Koforidua and I was in Accra.
In Accra, okay.
So sometimes transport, but even in that, I'm her first daughter. She should still sacrifice for me in a way, because I'm left there and I'm left there hungry. The food side is the more,
the
factor.
does not provide
Okay,
food.
now this is how it goes. The hospital provides 3 square meals, okay? But I can tell you, they give you kinky with 1 small fish like that. It's not even up to. With some fair pepper. Sometimes the pepper is not even enough to finish one bowl of a kinky. So even if you want to eat more, you remember I told you I was fed well at Pantine. But here, not so.
Why did you move from one hospital to the other?
I don't know. They kept, before I knew it, I was there. When the condition comes, I'm not the one who takes myself to the hospital. Sometimes I'm being hijacked in a taxi.
By who?
But sometimes by my mom and people. Like, sometimes at a point, it happened to me in Nigeria. I was hijacked by some men, like, and put in a van and brought to Accra Psychiatric. Like, the boy whose heart I broke, I was trying to go and beg him for forgiveness. By that time, I think he was in Nigeria doing Project Fame. So I was trying to go and, I don't know, I just wanted to ask for his forgiveness. When I went, I didn't meet him. Like, it took me like a month before. We were speaking every day, but it took me like a month before I could say, Onye in this Nigeria. And he was like, no, he won't forgive me. So I took poison along. And I told myself, if I go and the guy doesn't accept me, I will commit suicide. Because of the way he loved me and, you know, the way I left him. So that was my mind. But everything after seeing the boy and he not accepting me and all, a taxi driver met me, took me to a spot. They gave me something to take and they took me to some hospital because it was becoming funny. Then later...
He gave you what thing to take?
No, I gave myself poison.
You drank the poison?
I drank the poison, yes. When the boy was saying, I was just waiting for his verdict, say, "Mempe obioma now," something, then I'll just take the poison.
And die?
And die. That was my aim. Like I felt...
Were you lucid at the time, or you were having an episode?
I wasn't having an episode.
You were just very heartbroken?
Yes. But I was just regretting all the awful things
you had done.
I had done. So I told myself that if I go and the guy doesn't accept me, I took it on my way from Ghana. I took it on me. And when I went and he didn't, as he was, shunning me, I went and I met a lot of bodyguards around him. And as he was talking to me and he was shunning me before them and all that, I just started drinking the poison small, small. I mixed it with water. I was sipping it small, 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 small. By the time I left his presence, and the a certain taxi driver took me, I think I had to sleep in the taxi till daybreak. The taxi driver realized some changes. The taxi driver was calling the guy that this is what is happening to me. I don't know. The guy kind of he didn't mind also. So they took me to a drinking spot, got me a black tablet. I sipped it. They took me to a hospital first. It wasn't too good. Then I took the black tablet, sipped it, and I started getting purged in my system of, the poison that I had taken. So it was after that. Then I found myself somewhere. I was sitting somewhere, and I think a certain man, I think I went to an embassy or something. I was trying to find my way back home.
To Ghana.
Then I think either I missed the way or I don't know. I can't really tell. I came back to come and sit at a joint. And one vehicle came to park by me, and the man was like, "I saw you entering this Visa yard or whichever yard, so come, let me give you a place to stay. I can see you are stranded." Then I was like, "Okay, I will." So I joined this vehicle. In fact, I was a bit skeptical about it, but I was just contemplating whether us to go or not to. And finally I went. He gave me a place to stay, but in a room of about 5 guys. It was a huge room. And it was in the midst of that room that I relapsed. I don't know. I became worse, like total mess.
When you went to the room and you saw that there were 5 guys there?
No, not just that. I was living there, but...
You were living?
Yes, I was living there. They made
5 men?
5 men. 5 or 3, I think
and
it's 5.
What was the living situation?
It's some funny living. I don't know how I feed. I can't even remember how I feed.
You don't remember anything?
I don't remember. But I know if they cook some wachi or something, they'll just bring me some or something. I don't remember. And I realized that they were going through my documents. I had these documents. They were trying to call Ghana. They were
really trying to help you?
Yes.
All right, hold a thought. We'll be right back. You're watching We Got This Africa, and this is our episode on bipolar disorder.
We got this. We got this.
You're watching We Got This Africa, and today Angel is here in the studios sharing her story on living with bipolar disorder. Angel, so before we went on the break, you were telling me about staying with these 5 men who tried to help you come back to Ghana.
Yes.
Were they able to bring you back home?
Okay, they were, but before they brought me, I think I didn't talk about this. Okay, let me go back to that. They brought me back home, but in fact, I didn't come home. I went straight to the psychiatric hospital. With how the condition happened, I don't know if it took days, weeks, or something. I was in a relapse state.
How long you were there for?
No, in a relapse state, in that state.
These men just found you, brought you home.
Yes.
And they just took care of you.
Yes. No, one of them
One
brought
of them
me
brought you
in the
home.
midst of the 5.
Were they brothers or friends, or were they working?
I don't know. All I know is it was like a guest house.
Okay.
But where I was, given to stay.
There were men in there.
Yes, there were men. 5.
Did you have sexual relations with this man?
No, I didn't. But before I came there, I was raped by 2 men.
And this was after you had met your boyfriend or before you met him?
Oh, this was after before I met him.
Before you went to meet
Yes,
him?
yes.
So you had this traumatic rape
No,
experience?
after. It was after.
And then, after, but before the man found you at the embassy?
Yes.
And then they helped you come back to Ghana?
Yes.
And you went straight to the psychiatric hospital?
Yes. The men took me to the psychiatric hospital.
So they brought you?
They brought me
you to
handcuffed. Like, I was poo-pooing in the car. The car that
They
were
drove from Nigeria
They
to
drove
Ghana?
from Nigeria to Ghana.
Wow.
Yes. I realized they were on top speed. That's what I can remember. And the defecating, that's all I can. Before I knew it, I was wretched, like wearing thorn dresses, like,
Who tore your dresses?
I don't know, like the dresses I was wearing looked torn, but I can't remember.
The memory is very hazy.
Yes,
And you went straight to the hospital?
yes,
And this was the hospital where you were abused?
yes.
Did they ever send you back home from that hospital? Did your mother come for you? Did she know about this abuse after you got hurt?
Okay.
Did you get help?
I didn't get helped by anybody. All I know is I was bleeding. After some time, some of the nurses came on board. One nurse tried to come and stop them, tried treating it. But as to help, as in help, not the management of the hospital, not any.
Did they know what had happened?
I'm sure they knew because it was all over the place. When something happens in a psychiatric hospital in one ward,
Everyone here.
yes, it's extended because they are like friends.
Tell me about when you went back home after your stay at the psychiatric hospital. How was your relationship with your mother? Did she help you?
Okay. Anytime I go back, I'm the one who takes care of myself. She doesn't remove her money to take care of me. I still have to struggle to look for money to take care of myself.
How are you getting your medication?
Some people try to solicit
Funds to help you.
Yes, please.
And did you have any episodes while at home?
No. Anytime whenever I come back, I don't seem to have any form of episode. That's when
You're okay.
yes.
Okay.
I'm
calm.
settled, like, yes.
Okay, all right. And did you find that at any point in time while you were home,
Yes.
this is difficult for me to ask, but did you suffer any abuse at home?
Okay. At home, I didn't at home, but the kind of abuse that I found was a drug, I almost said drug now, a drug abuse. My mom, at a point, could give me a sachet of drug.
What?
A sachet, like,
I'm saying
a sachet.
A Ziploc.
A pack.
Okay.
A long, let's say if it's 10 on one
A
pack.
strip.
A strip. She gives me like 10.
Was that normal?
Highly abnormal. I don't know why she does that. I just don't know. You know, she was supposed to do science in school.
Okay.
And due to one or two things, her father was the one supporting her, but at a point, she couldn't get that support. And that zeal
To be a doctor.
is still there. So sometimes she conjures me, who said I'm in Carol? She just picks drugs, mix this one, and just
She was overdosing you.
overdosing. And when she gives me the thing too, she doesn't, it's hard for her to add food. Like, Ediania, giving me a strip, and you lock
Why
me
were you
inside a
taking a
room.
strip? You knew you
I
shouldn't
don't know. All she's saying is I should drink my medicine so I don't relapse. The tablets, like 10 mils is for a night.
Okay.
And let's say we have two of different names and one of different name. And you take those
Three together.
for a day. 2 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening.
Okay.
But when you are working, sometimes you'll have to pause a bit, like you have to reduce
The dosage.
Yes. But you take 2 in the morning, then the additional one, that one is for the night.
But you were taking about
let's say
10.
I was taking 4 a day with 1 night, which is supposed to be 5. But she was giving me 10.
Why?
I don't know.
Why were you taking it?
The drug is to take it so, one, I can sleep, I wouldn't relapse.
I know, but why were you taking the 10 when she gave it to you?
I don't know. She forced it. She got one guy to come and like help hold my neck, you know, pressed it, forced the medicine. Like there was a different instant like that. The guy held my neck, pressed it, pushing drugs, you know, pouring like it was in a container. She pours the container like that. So that quantity that comes, if I don't block it with my teeth or something, you can imagine the quantity that will enter. One guy like that, I don't know where the guy came from.
And the purpose was to keep you from relapsing.
From relapsing, according to her, which I know that she has an ulterior motive.
Like what?
I don't know, but I know that the mind is just not right for me. I don't know why. I just can't place. I can lay a grip on it, like.
Why she would do that?
Have
you ever asked her why she did that?
I've not asked her. In fact, I've kept this thing in me for 10 years. I couldn't talk about it to anybody. I couldn't ask her either. And so the very day I felt so pressured to talk was the day I came to TV3. Was the day after I came from Nigeria recently, and something happened, and I really wanted to talk to someone. I needed to speak out what is actually happening for this 10 years.
10 years.
Nobody comes to help me. Sometimes I don't even have money to buy my medication.
I'm so sorry.
And sometimes even if I have medication, I don't have food. So I don't take it. Then I relapse.
Do you still live with your mom?
I still live with her.
So when you say you don't have food, does it mean that...
She doesn't give me food. I take care of her. I don't know how to say, but I take care of myself.
Are you working?
I'm not working.
How are you able to do
Okay,
that?
I used to work with the man I told you about.
Okay.
I worked with that man for like 8 to 9 years.
Okay. So at least you were getting some
I was
income.
getting, yes.
All right.
Yes, it was a musical band. And he was the only one at that point in time who was kind of like understanding my situation, that after my illness, it became like a daily routine. Let me call it a daily routine. I'm talking about a yearly routine. Okay, it became like kakra mekwa kodaho, kakra mekwa kodaho. And when I go over there, he's the only one who gives me work, like my work back to me. Say, come to work.
And then you get money.
Then I get some money to take care of myself. He even buys sometimes he helps me buy, but he's dead, actually.
How are you doing now?
Right now, I'm feeling fine. In fact, I can boldly say that this is the only year that I was in the psychiatric for a month. And I relapsed for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, like I was okay. I was doing things very, very well. Before they come, I've laid my bed neatly and all. And they were like, hey, so the way I have different styles of laying my bed. So sometimes that's how come they get to know that no. The way she's even laying her bed, she has to be out of this place. She's not supposed to be staying here. So before 1 month, 1 month, and 1 month, they just let me go home.
Okay. I'm so sorry for all that you've been through.
Yes. This is the only year.
And now, are you back home with your mother?
Yes, I'm still back there.
Yeah, back home with your mother. Okay.
I wish I can leave that place. Seriously. It's like dungeon.
It's like a dungeon?
I'm telling you.
Are your siblings still there?
Yes.
Are they okay?
They're not too okay.
How so?
Financial wise.
Okay. But how do they feel about your situation, and what's your relationship with them like?
You know, since they were kids, like me, I'm the one supporting them financially.
How old are you?
27.
So this started when you were 17?
Yes, same.
That's awful. Wow. I'm really sorry.
It's okay.
What do you want to do with your life?
Okay. I want to go to America. I want to do songs, but then I want to travel out.
You want to leave Ghana?
I want to leave Ghana. Like, I really want to leave Ghana because a lot of stigmatization, Christ, a lot of memories. Oh, it's very disheartening. Very.
You have a baby, don't you?
I do have a baby.
How old is he?
2 years, but I've not seen my baby in 2 years. He was taken away from me when I was 6 months old with him.
You haven't seen your child in 6 years?
For 2 years.
2
yes,
years?
2 years.
Why? What happened? Why haven't you seen your child in 2 years?
Okay. The guy who impregnated me left me when I was pregnant.
You had a relationship with him?
Yes. He abandoned me when I was, say, 3 months. He was with me for first month, second month. On the third month, then he left. When he left, I was taken to the psychiatric hospital back. I stayed there for 6 months and with no food to eat, no nothing. I was helped by Madam Philo, Elder Mreku's wife, the popular musician. I was helped by her wife. She brings me food. She leaves money if I need anything. Sometimes she shops for me at the psychiatric hospital because she was a midwife. Should I say, they call it DDNS or something over there. So she was, because I was pregnant, she was on my case. And because his son also produced my song. I have a single on YouTube. His son produced it, you know, so that was how I got linked.
So she was taking care of you?
She was taking care of me. And when she took care of me till I delivered, even bought my baby's dresses, she liaised with some of the hospital nurses to buy my baby's dresses, things I'll use, my diapers, panties, underwears, everything. Because I didn't have it. And my mom bought some few and came to leave it in the psychiatric hospital. But then, the guy who impregnated me stepped there, the hospital once. He didn't step there again. I don't know if he undermined me, if I should say. Whichever.
Did he know about your condition
He knew
when you got into a relationship
yes,
with
he
him?
knew. He knew. I told him. I didn't want to keep it a secret. So that if you love me, you love me. Because a lot of this issue, because of this issue, a lot of guys have left me. A lot of guys. You know, they stigmatize my condition. So after everything, the baby stayed with me for 6 months. When I delivered, stayed with me for 6 months. Then I relapsed again. So when I relapsed, I was in Accra, around Circle. Hungry with the baby, you could see the baby, full stop. Though it drips, but there was no food for even to
produce breast milk.
Exactly. And the baby was very hungry. And the police saw me and took me to Adabraka police station. Kept me at counterback for like 3 days. I didn't know where my baby was. Did
the police take the baby from you?
They took the baby from me. I don't know where they took the baby.
So
I was still in a relapsed state.
Okay, they didn't take you to the hospital?
They didn't take me to the hospital either. So, you know, so it was after I had left with them for 3 days at the police.
Counterback?
Yes, for 3 days. Then before I knew it, an escort came and they took me. I don't know, should I say police, you're kind of saying police car.
Yeah.
I don't know the name to use.
Yeah.
A police car came and they took me straight to Koforidi at my house. When they went to the house, they met nobody. Not my mom, nobody.
How did they know your house?
Okay. The phone I was holding, I think they took the phone they seized it from me from 3 days.
Okay, so they were able to talk to someone.
Exactly, and they got it. When they got to the house, my mom was not around. It was my grandmother was around. So they couldn't leave the baby with my
Okay,
granny
so at this
either.
point, you saw the baby.
I saw the baby.
All right.
The baby was actually in the car, which
you.
I was, yes. But they handcuffed me and they didn't let me even touch. When I'm trying to touch the baby, a policeman holds my hand down. When I'm trying to, I say, I want to feel my baby. And they hold me like 1 year. They just try to hold me. I think 1 year or so. Then, in the car, I think they asked me if I have the baby's father's number. And, you know, I just have that number offhand. I don't know, it just came. I just have that particular one offhand. So I just mentioned the number. So when I mentioned it, not knowing they had called the guy to meet them.
At the house?
Yes, in Kuforidia. I think the guy then was in Tema or something. I don't know how. He came. Before I knew it, we were at the psychiatric hospital again in Kuforidia.
And they gave the baby to the father?
They gave the baby to the father. But they didn't give the baby to the father at the psychiatric hospital. They gave the baby to the father. They first took me to a Galloway police station in Koforidia. That was where they met the guy. And the baby's father, I think the police, some of them had to leave the car for the baby's father to join the car, which I was sitting, but still handcuffed. Then I tried to touch the baby. The baby's father said he wouldn't let me touch the baby. So they now later gave the baby to the father and now went back again to the central hospital to go and leave me in the psychiatric hospital.
Was that the last
guy
time
never
you saw your
stepped in.
baby?
That was the last time I saw my baby. Since 2019.
Are you in touch with the baby's father?
I'm in touch with the baby's father. He calls me once in a blue moon. Sometimes I will be calling him for like a month. He'll be seeing my call, but he won't pick. He doesn't want to show me where. I mean, I don't know.
You don't know where he stays?
I don't know.
You don't. So has he moved from the house that you knew, or you never knew his house?
He was living in my house because he had an accommodation problem.
So when you guys were dating, he was living in your house?
In my house, yes.
When he broke up with you, he moved out of your house?
He moved out of the house.
And you don't know where he went to?
I don't know where he went to.
You don't know his relatives?
I know his mom lives in Asimfosu, but the place is a bit dicey, yes. I can't go there. Like, I'll miss
you can't
the
find
way.
him.
Yes, I'll miss the way.
Is he on social media?
Kind of. I don't know his.
You can't find him?
No.
Do you want to find him?
But now I think I just tracked him on WhatsApp a few. Was it last week or last 2 weeks?
Do you think that the reason they took the child away from you was because you might be a danger to the child?
Yes. I think and I don't think. Okay, I want to say no to this because, fine, even if I'm a psychiatric patient, does that mean that I'm deprived of seeing my baby for good? That to the extent that to the point that until now for 2 years I've not had access to my baby. Does that mean when I went to the psychiatric hospital 2 years ago I never had access to a good health back again? Please, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Does that mean I never had access to a good health back again for me to see my baby?
I get what you mean.
What's the point? You didn't take care of the baby when I was pregnant in my womb. I developed stomach ulcer because of this when I was pregnant.
You were hungry?
I was very excessively, nobody gives me food. Sometimes I walk and I just collapse. And people rush me to the hospital. Taxi drivers are the ones who take care of me sometimes.
Wow.
Buying buckets to the hospital, panty, this. A taxi driver, they just try to help. And when they call the guy won't step to the hospital. All in the name of he's not working. And he says he's a pastor.
Oh. Wow. I see. I'm really sorry for what you've been through. I mean, as you're talking, I think I've heard the most awful thing, and then you say another very terrible thing. And one person should not go through all of this.
It's too much for me.
I'm so sorry.
Recently, when I went to Nigeria, I was raped by almost 6 guys. Let's say 5. alone. All of them, let's say first one, 4 guys on me raped me the same time. Then aftermath, I think 1 more for me alone. I was trying to leave and, go and have a better life, because I was tired of the pressure. It's too much for me. It's just too much for me. Too much for me. And it's like, Minyo, come off, I say, I don't have an elder brother. My mother has restricted us from visiting any of our uncles. So it's like in the name of their witches.
You've had a very difficult life.
So, yes.
You've had a very difficult life.
Sometimes, Miss Rena Medi,
I cannot begin to imagine what you've been through. And
trust me.
Nobody should go through the things that you've gone through, the way you've gone through them. Stay tuned. You're watching We Got This Africa. We'll be right back.
Can you feel on your face? We got this. Can you feel on your face? Can you feel on your face? We got this. Can you feel on your face?
You're watching We Got This Africa, and I've been having a very difficult conversation with Angel.
Girl, listen.
Some of you might know her from the music reality show, The Mentor on TV. And she's here sharing her life story, living and suffering bipolar disorder. Angel, thank you for coming and for sharing. And I'm so sorry for all that you've been through. I don't know how you feel. I can't imagine how you feel. I can't begin to imagine how you feel.
My baby. I've been denied.
What's your baby's name?
Philemon. I named him after Elder Mriku because of the help they rendered me. He and his wife.
I'm so sorry. What help do you need now?
I need help. I want to travel to the States. And I want to also be able to buy my medication and food. Without food, I can't take my medication. When I don't take my medication, I don't sleep. I keep staying awake, thinking. But when I take the drugs, I'm able to sleep calmly, like I just sleep. And I need a lot of food and money on me. I need it badly.
Okay.
So if they are listening to me, any way they can do to help me financially, I don't know what to say. They should just help me.
Okay.
Food to eat, drink, medicine to drink, money on me. That's it. And I want to fly out of the country.
You want to start a new life?
Yes, because of the stigmatization. A lot of memories.
Yeah.
In this country, a lot of memories. Sometimes I look in the mirror and I smile and I look at my teeth, it brings back the memory.
This is the first time that I'm talking to you like this. But I can tell you that you're a very amazing young woman. You're very beautiful. You're so gorgeous. And you're amazing. And you have a whole life ahead of you. You're only 27. And the worst is behind you. The good and wonderful days of your life are ahead of you. So
Okay,
don't
I
at
have
any
something
point
to
give
say.
up.
Just a minute.
Yeah.
I am actually 33, but I chose not to talk about my age, but I just feel like talking about it.
Okay. So why did you say you were 27?
Because I wanted to feel young again. Like sometimes all these things make me feel old and
33 is young. I'm 33.
okay.
I don't feel old. I feel very young.
But with what I'm going through, gosh.
Your best days
It's
are
not the
ahead of
same
you.
as yours.
I know. I will not even pretend that it is. But your best days are ahead of you. You haven't lived half of your life yet. Okay? So bad things happen to all of us. You've had it worse. You've had it terrible. But the bad things that happen to you are not you. They don't define you. You are not the things that happen to you. Okay? So don't at any point give up. Don't at any point buy poison and drink. Because then you'll be giving up. And you shouldn't give up. Okay? You promise me?
I promise. I've done that twice, but I promise.
You won't do that again?
No. I promise.
I think we all need to help Angel, actually. She's had a hard life. And if you're watching and you're touched by this conversation we have had and this episode and all that she has been through, I will appeal on her behalf that you come to her help. I'm going to display a number on the screen now. This is the number you can reach her on if you want to help her. Please reach out, please assist. Is it on mobile money?
It should be.
Okay. So please just reach out to Angel on this number and help if you can. It's only help we can offer at this point. My appeal to you is that you help. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Wgta Africa. My name is Na Ashoko. And I've been chatting with Angel today on living with bipolar disorder in Ghana. I'm tempted to ask you to sing. Would you sing?
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Can I stand?
Yeah, you can stand.
Okay. You are here, moving in this place. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you. I worship you. Yeah. Waymaker, miracle worker. Oh, you a blessing changer, light in my darkness. That is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker. You are life giver, light in my darkness, my God. Who you are. You are here. You're changing every heart today. I worship you, oh Lord. I give you praise, praise, praise. You are here. You're healing broken hearts today. I worship you. I worship you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're okay. It's 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 okay. Your best days are ahead of you, okay? All the bad things are behind you, okay? Okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Whatever you do, do 'em well. Make it no worry. go stay okay, we go be alright. Oh, inyami, go chichino, inyami, banyo fe, inyami, go konjano, Kenya fe, oh banyo fe, inyami, go chichino, inyami, banyo fe, inyami, go konjano, Kenya fe, oh banyo fe, Kenya fe, oh banyo fe. Kenya fe, obanyo fe. Kenya fe, obanyo fe. We got this. Kenya fe, obanyo fe.
We Got This Africa is an April Communications production, proudly brought to you by Fritol. Fritol, you deserve a life of goodness.